And by the way, we also want the government to launch a national inquiry because what's happening in Oldham has happened across the country. Council is also writing to Andy Burnham. Remember, Andy Burnham is neck deep in this.
Labour are worried sick about this. All the Labour councils are worried sick about this. What's going on in Oldham? Anything new happening there? We know it's the most corrupt council in Greater Manchester, if not probably the northwest of England, maybe the even country, who knows? What's going on in Oldham?
Well, we've outmaneuvered the council. It was at a meeting 2 Wednesdays ago, an extraordinary council meeting. If you follow my work, I've been asking people to write to their councillors to demand an extraordinary council meeting, and we led the way in Oldham by demonstrating how it's done. So we had the Conservatives, decent people, Lewis Quigg, Dave Arnott, principled men who called an extraordinary council meeting. Every Conservative councillor signed that document because he needed 5. And they didn't just give 5, every one of them signed the document. Extraordinary council meeting where they took a motion to the council wanting the rejection of Yvette Cooper's local inquiry, which we know has no powers. It's just, kick into the long grass and hope it goes away. And demand 1, a statutory local inquiry into the town, and 2, support a national inquiry that everyone is asking for. We knew, and this is what we did, Nick, we knew that the Labour Party would try and outmaneuver us and vote against it or amend it. So we played a game with them where we put forward the language in such a way where it was aggressive, it was over the top. We played highball. It's what you do as a child. Mum, I'm coming in at 11, knowing that maybe she'll negotiate down to 9 o'clock rather than your usual time of 8 o'clock. Yeah, we did that. It was a child's game we played with the council, and we outmaneuvered them in the council meeting. The council meeting's online. You'll see it. They had to stop the council meeting, rewrite some minutes, and in the end, 59 of the 60 councillors attended that meeting. All 59 of them, some of them after shouting and swearing at me, effectively. If you watch it, you'll see. And I'm not in the meeting. I'm a campaigner. This is, is that not what I'm meant to do, Nick? Campaign, yeah? So I campaigned. All 59 of them voted with this. And let me share it with you so you'll laugh. 1, that the inquiry in Oldham has got to have statutory powers. So Yvette could to write to the Home Secretary to say the inquiry in Oldham has got to have statutory powers. Having another local inquiry with no statutory powers is a complete waste of money. Don't bother. So now we've got the council that Yvette Cooper wanted to work in partnership with to prop up her continuation of a cover-up, rejecting her offer. So we've got a local council writing to the Home Secretary saying, what you want to do, we don't support, we want a statutory inquiry. So that'd be interesting to see how that plays out. Secondly, we've also got the council now to write to the Home Secretary again, saying, by the way, we also support a national inquiry, and this needs to be investigated across the entire country. So the council at the centre of this cover-up, 7 times, I think, Nick, over 5 years, voted against it, had me repeatedly arrested. We have now outmaneuvered them. And it's Labour Party run still, it's minority, but 27 Labour Party councillors out of 60, with a couple of independents that propped them up. Every one of them, including the Islamist separatists, we played them as well, the Muslim separatists, every one of them voted exactly as we wanted to. And they're now writing to the Home Secretary on 2 issues. One is the inquiry you want in Oldham is no good to us. We want it to have statutory powers. And by the way, we also want the government to launch a national inquiry because what's happening in Oldham has happened across the country, which is, so we're clear, the systematic cover-up of the predominantly white working class children. So by Pakistani heritage men. So that played out. Okay. The third thing then, the 2 letters, the third thing, we've drawn Andy Burnham into it. So as well as writing to the Home Secretary, the council is also writing to Andy Burnham. Remember, Andy Burnham is neck deep in this because it was his assurance review in June 2022 that it was the 20th of June, 19th of June, 20th of June, he published it, his assurance review. I was the only person, Nick, who challenged it at the time, said this is a cover up. I went through all 200 pages of it. I released something on YouTube on the 21st of June, 2022. I've just reshared it now on X this morning. It was taken off for defamation by YouTube. Right. And all I did was detail within 24 hours, begin to detail the inconsistencies in the report and why it wasn't fit for purpose. It took Burnham 2.5 years until January 2025, just last month, before he acknowledged the limitations in his assurance review. So he's switching sides. Well, mate, if you're going to switch sides, let's have it out in the open. So we forced the council to also write to the Greater Manchester Combined Authority and Andy Burnham specifically to confirm, to request that he issue a statement confirming that he wants a statutory inquiry into Oldham and then a national inquiry. So that's what we forced just under 2 weeks ago, which I think is it's an achievement.
No, absolutely. It is an achievement to force the council to do anything. Labour are worried sick about this. All the Labour councils are worried sick about this. We saw what happened in Wigan a few weeks ago, where independent councillor Maureen O'Byrne, she forced that council to write to government to ask for an inquiry as well, and that's a Labour council. Something's definitely going on within the Labour councils. I not only are they protecting themselves and looking after their careers, I think they're beginning to look in the future and thinking, I could end up in jail. If all this gets out, I could end up in jail.
I want to see politicians in jail, and Andy Burnham, when he ranted at me. I mean, since you and I spoke, he bit on X on a Sunday night. I think he must have had a glass of, Merlot, too many glasses of Merlot or whatever his preference is. And he bit and he demanded I take down my post. I said, well, I'm not taking down my post. I'm going to testify at a national inquiry. And he claimed he's going to testify as well. I said, good, I'll see you there. I will see you there because your assurance review in Oldham was a cover-up. And you fronted that. That was your assurance review. And it took you 2.5 years to say, to even acknowledge it was limited.
Mm. I saw that.
2 guys have run away, haven't they? I mean, Newsom and Ridgeway have run away.
Yeah. I saw that X discussion, not live, but I saw it the next day or something. And correct me if I'm wrong, he said something like, I've got answers to all these points you're raising, Raja. And then you put something like, well, that's great. Can we have them, the answers?
Yeah, well, I offered. I'll come and
see. That seems to be the end of the conversation.
Yeah, I said, I'll come and see you. He said I was a liar because apparently I claimed he'd given Sean Fielding's girlfriend a job. I never claimed he'd given Sean Fielding's girlfriend a job. I said his office, the Greater Manchester Combined Authority had recruited the partner of a council leader.
And that's either true or not true.
Yeah. And you and I know then if there's any question of something untoward taking place, then it's a simple review of CVs and to see, well, actually, did this person come from a place where they had the skills and capabilities to be appointed into the role they were appointed? That's an objective exercise, isn't it? But that's got nothing to do with the issue, with the issue we're talking about, which is the systematic cover-up of child abuse.